Good evening, everybody. This is Raffy Gutierrez, and welcome to another episode of Crossroads of Faith here in the channel Usapang Religion. And I really want to thank everybody who has subscribed to the channel so far and and especially shared our posts to their friends and family. Those who have found the videos here insightful and meaningful, and especially the ones who are posting their comments and their thoughts on what we have been discussing in the different channels within this channel. We really appreciate it, and we hope that you continue subscribing, liking, and sharing. For that, I really send you my thanks. In my very first video in this series, I said that the topics I will be talking about will primarily be on faith, because this is obviously Crossroads on Faith. But those who have actually bothered to read my biography will see that I have been into many different fields when I was still working. And one of the things that I have become quite known for, especially in mainstream social media in the Philippines, were my political thoughts and my political rantings. So tonight's topic will be a little bit different from what I've talked about thus far, although there is a component that is very, very spiritual and very, 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 very based on faith, if you must. Some might argue or might even conclude after watching this video, if you get to the end, that what I'm about to say is purely satire or purely sarcasm. But there is a part of what I'm going to say that is really coming from the bottom of my heart, because when I was thinking about what topic I will talk about tonight or this week, what came to mind is my favorite topic on spirituality, which is hell, because I really believe that those who live a really, really evil life will be going to some destination that is not pleasant when they die. So my long introduction finally brings us to the title of my topic, which is, for those who are going to hell, especially the corrupt politicians, how to minimize the punishments you will get there when you get to hell. So if I were to summarize that long title, how to minimize the punishments in hell, and within parentheses, specific to corrupt politicians, especially here in the Philippines. As we all know, corruption in the Philippines is done in broad daylight. Every single Filipino, without doubt, know that 99% of the top to the lowest officials in government are some of the most corrupt people who ever lived this planet. They are so corrupt to the point that they will delay projects to pretend that they have projects, and in delaying projects will create more suffering for the regular Filipino. Case in point, roads that are not yet broken, or not yet roads where cars travel, that are not yet busted or don't need any repairing, are broken on purpose so that they can be repaired. So those who are not familiar with the Philippines, let me repeat that. One of the most apparent forms of government corruption in the Philippines is especially when it's near elections, government officials, local and national, have this very strong proclivity to break down roads that have that are actually still in very good condition, that was repaired just a year ago or just months ago, will be broken down again so that they will be repaired. Why? Because they want to steal some of the money from the budget. There is no other obvious reason why. Okay. What does this seemingly idiotic point that I just made have to do anything with the topic? It's very simple. Because you government officials that are corrupt are obviously all going to hell. There is no doubt about that. Because if you don't go to hell, then obviously the God you believe in is really just an inexistent or incompetent God. But I am quite 100,000,000% positive that 99% of government officials in the Philippines will not even see that light at the end of the tunnel when they die. They will just plunge into hell for the evil that they have caused and the suffering they have caused to the millions of Filipinos. So if you are a corrupt government official listening to this video, please listen through, because I am about to give you some pointers how you can minimize the punishment in hell. If you are one of those ultra-corrupt politicians that approve the breaking of roads that are not yet broken, I strongly suggest you just steal the money. Just take the money, the bribe, or the kickback, or whatever you call it, and don't have the road destroyed. Let the road be. Okay? Just leave the road alone. Okay? You do not need to justify breaking down the road. Okay? Because ultimately, whatever money you get to construct the road, you will steal anyway. So just steal the money and don't break the road, so that those traveling on that road will not be inconvenienced and have to suffer because of your evil. Just take the money. The point that the deeper point I want to make in this video, for the sake of all corrupt politicians who are going to hell, to automatically reduce your suffering in hell by just making corruption legitimate. Legalize corruption. Just legalize corruption in the Philippines. That is the best thing to do for the country. Because when you legalize corruption, you do not need to delay because you need to determine who's gonna get what, right? Whoever is in part of the pie that gets the bribe, just get all the money you need to steal and let the projects roll out. Let the projects happen, right? Whatever department or departments are currently collaborating to automate the processes, to digitize the processes, make sure you automate the corruption as well. So that once a project is launched and the funding is approved, you do not need to take 1,000,000 years, even in the process of figuring out the technical working team, because you don't have the money yet. Just get the money up front. Imagine making corruption actually work for the people. That is one of the best and surest ways that we can move this country forward without causing any more unnecessary suffering, like having to destroy roads that are yet working, functional, even in good condition. It's not like the Philippines have really good roads to begin with. I mean, many roads, especially here in the province. There are only a few roads that people can take going places. And now a road that is not yet broken is now being broken, is being broken down so that they can repair, so that the repair money can be stolen. Just steal the money and don't break the road. You will have lesser punishment in hell when you get to hell, because you caused less suffering in your corruption. So that is really one of the surest. I am very confident that Satan will be very unhappy with this video, because those who actually listen to this might get some common sense and some insight and some wisdom to realize you're going to hell anyway, so might as well reduce the punishment, right? You have nothing to lose. Just legalize corruption in the Philippines. And if for some bizarre reason, our dear President Bongbong Marcos gets to hear this video, I strongly urge you, sir, to consider this proposal for both a spiritual, religious, and political standpoint. That if you legalize corruption, it makes everything easier for everyone, especially those in your government who just do nothing but steal anyway. So they will steal, but at least everything is still moving, no matter how slow, but it is moving. Not like completely nothing's happening because everybody's still figuring out how much is who is getting how much and how much should somebody be getting. Corruption should just be that there should be like an Excel spreadsheet already breaking down the percentage of how much who's gonna get from the highest to the lowest of those who are getting some kickback whenever a project in the government is launched. That is the surest way that perhaps, even though the Philippines is technically really a lost cause, the shithole of shitholes, something like this might actually help move this country forward. Because as ridiculous as my example sounds, that some example which is the roads that are not broken being broken, imagine the convenience if we can actually use the road. It's not. Of course, most of the top officials in the government don't really have any brain to understand maybe anything I'm saying, but that's besides the point. Then it's, if you cannot understand what I'm saying, you will suffer more in hell. So I leave everybody with this thought that perhaps it's time to wake up and accept that no matter what measures, no matter what sanctions, penalties, punishments, whatever laws we pass to curtail, to contain, to minimize, to lessen corruption, it's not gonna happen. Very deep in the soul and DNA of government officials in the Philippines is corruption itself. We are a fallen people, unfortunately, my friends. And the so-called only Christian nation in our that we are called by others outside the Philippines is really just, we know, just lip service. And maybe the nice churches we see around town. But I need to emphasize that it's time to have a wake-up call. That whatever we do, we cannot get away from corruption. So let's just make it work by legalizing it. And in so doing, those of you who are going to hell eventually will not suffer that much. And that is the end of my video. Thank you for listening and for all the sarcasm and satire that I've stated. This is coming from a place of extreme anger and wish that you guys just disappear from the face of this earth, because you are there to serve the people. The government is there to serve the people, but you are there to cause more unnecessary suffering. That is not cool. That is not cool. Thank you very much. I'll see you in my next video.